everyone. Welcome back to Loud Mom's Lair. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Tara. We're excited to dive in to this week's episode and topic. But before we do, we wanted to do a quick little check-in. So, Kristen, how was your week this week? How are you doing today? And how did you do all week?
We've been doing good. I don't know if we have too much crazy stuff going on. It's been kind of a low, chill week. Braxton's sick, which I'll kind of get, more into that a little bit later. So that's kind of a bummer. You hate when kids are sick. It's the worst. But other than that, I don't have anything exciting. My life is pretty boring right now.
It's not boring. You are a mama. A working mama.
Yes. What? Tell us about you. What have you been up to?
It has been a wild ride this past week. So obviously last episode we talked about, us getting the house and trying to get this house up and ready to list. And we have had so many different contractors coming in and out of this house just because we didn't have the time to paint the entire house or whatnot. So we had painters here, we had landscapers here, we had an inspector here, we have everyone and anyone you can think of. And we have a photographer coming on Saturday. So we're trying to rapidly get this house ready. So Matt and I took the day off today, and then I'm taking the day off tomorrow just to hide all of the things that are on our countertops in preparation for the photographer. But yeah, minus, a little stress and anxiety throughout the day. It's been a pretty decent week. So I'm definitely excited.
Moving so stressful.
And everyone makes it sound like it's this magical thing. Like, oh, you just bought a house. Congrats. And I was like, no, people should say like, good luck. Like,
yeah, stop.
Hope you survive the process. Yeah. I feel like
next time I move, I'm selling all of my shit and I'm just whatever.
Well, I hit up a lot of the local moms on like one of the local moms Facebook page. And I was like, hey, we have all of this baby stuff that we just need to get rid of. I was like, super cheap or free, and just tell me what you need and I'll send you a picture of what we have. So yeah, been having a ton of parents come and get some things too. So I guess that's
that helps. Yeah,
but it's just money flying out the window, I swear. Close the day.
You don't need that
money. Oh my god. But yeah, I am ready. I'm ready for this week to be done, unfortunately.
You're almost there.
Yeah. Probably should kick off this podcast with a little cheers to hopefully a quiet or relaxing evening, probably after this podcast, because, we're going to get into some deep and heavy topics. But cheers to that.
Cheers. Got my vodka crayon in case anybody's wondering.
Got
your wine.
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking the family wine. So J-Lore. Yep, caps off. So,
No, I think they need to send us a couple boxes of those.
Listen, we don't get royalties for this wine, but I still claim that it's a family wine.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yep.
Well, let's dive right in, shall we?
Do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Last week, we sat and shared our journeys through postpartum. We figured this week would be a really good transition to discuss experiences with body image. We know that comes with the good, comes with the bad, the ugly, the perfect imperfections that I think a lot of us think we need to have or want to have. Let's, I think, bring it back to, let's go back, childhood. Growing up, you always have, and if you never had that, then great. I mean, you're
so
doing
wonderful.
Good.
Yeah. I'm sure everyone has their own struggles and everything with it. Doesn't need to be body image, but this topic is going to be about body image. So
yes. Bring it back to childhood. I mean, growing up is obviously a really difficult time. And
hormones.
And then you, yes,
raging, you're emotional.
Yeah. And I don't know how much, when you're younger, but obviously you get into junior high and high school and you are trying to find that spot where you fit in. And, if you're, I'll say me personally, I wouldn't say I was like heavy. I mean, I wasn't. And I always go back to, and this is so terrible to say, but I always say, I wish I was as fat as I thought I was in high school.
I say that all the time now. Like, and it's so sad, but it's just
Mhm.
throughout life, your perception changes and your influences change throughout whatever environment you're within and or whatever you're watching or looking at or hearing about. And
Mhm.
as you get older, like some things aren't as important, but other things become even more important.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's still growing up. You still, even at my age, I know I still feel I'm definitely not where I want to be or thought I was gonna be. Um, and I wouldn't even say that has anything to do with, when I was pregnant and then after having a baby, because you always hear, oh, it takes forever to lose baby weight.
Hmm.
Sometimes you don't ever lose it. And even before, I got pregnant, I wasn't where I wanted to be.
Sure.
And I think I don't know, you have to work at it, but it's definitely something that's always there and you always see, oh, I have I don't know if you've heard of it, the mirror that you work out, the mirror.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
by Lululemon. So we have that in our basement and it's wonderful. It's fantastic. I love it and I do
Mhm.
use it. But the one instructor, I'm literally so obsessed with her because I just keep saying, oh my God, I just want to look like her. She's so beautiful and she's
The
so perfect. And that's
motivation.
where that like comes from though too, is you're never gonna look like that person. I'm
Right.
sorry.
No.
You
Everyone is built so differently.
Yeah. But like you said, it's inspiring and that's something to, go and reach for, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So like we'll keep it back growing up, right? Was there any specific event or any I don't want to say specific person because we're not name dropping anyone. Maybe I will. But is there
Sleep.
any specific thing that like led you to have a potential like negative body image um growing up?
Um so I know this is like about body image, but I guess acne can kind of be part of
Oh,
that, right?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Um and I never really had bad acne. And then obviously, you hit high school and I wouldn't even really say it was so bad, you know?
Mhm.
Um, but I did go to a dermatologist. But
Mhm.
kind of, I think, making me want to, ask my parents to go is I did have, some stupid little high school girl, and I'm not going to name drop her
Mm,
because honestly, I don't even know her name. I don't remember her. I just remember the situation.
that's how important
I
she was.
yeah, I think was making fun of me
Mm.
about, oh, you want to talk to her because her face looks like, or you don't want to talk to her because her face looks like that, or something. So,
Kids are so
I
mean.
mean, they're so freaking
They're
mean.
so I'm
And
terrified of high school and junior high kids.
yeah,
I'm terrified of oh my
and so I
god.
think that was, a big thing for me is because I mean, yeah, again, you do, like you said, you see, people on TV or you see, models or,
Mhm.
performers or whatever. And okay, you don't got no pimples anywhere. What's your face, what do you do?
Right. No, but really.
So I
And
mean that
even
was the big one. Um
yeah.
and then obviously I wouldn't even say I'm pretty sure, I didn't have really any issues with, actual body image until I was in my 20s.
Okay.
you know.
Yeah.
So it was further down the line.
Yeah. Well, 20s are tough too. I remember like, so when we were growing up together, but I remember a very specific event where, AOL Instant Messenger, right? That was
Oh yeah.
the greatest thing ever. My friend and I were on it and we were talking to a boy, and this was in like
Oh my gosh.
sixth grade, I think. And I was just very naive to a lot of things, right? And we were so behind the ball, but like we were like, oh, like, would you ever kiss this girl or this girl, blah blah blah. And my friend asked, what about would you ever kiss Tara? And like he didn't know that I was on the other side of the computer.
Right.
And his response was, no, she's too fat for me. And when I read that, I sobbed.
Hell no.
Sobbed. So what I did, I did not help myself. And sixth grade was a rough year. Sixth and seventh grade was just rough. Like
Yeah.
I was packing on the pounds. I was in a large, but like from what I definitely was heftier, and I was going through like getting ready for growth spurts because I am a giant now. So and yeah, anyway, I was a little thicker then, and a few days later, it was like really resonating with me, like, oh my God, I didn't even look at myself like that. Like I didn't think
Yeah.
that I was big, but now a boy in such I don't want an impressionable time in your life,
Mhm.
just said I was fat. And I'm like, am I fat? Like,
Yeah.
whoa, and so then I like go through a freaking tornado of thoughts, if you will. And a few days later, I asked my dad. I went up to him and I was just like, I need you to be honest with me, because I like always wanted the truth. And my mom's probably gonna listen to this and be like, "Yep, that's how she found out about Santa Claus." Like, and
Oh, we can
so
so get into that because you
yeah,
told me about Santa Claus.
I don't even remember that. I am sorry, Aunt Linda and Uncle Dave. Like, I ruined all the magic. Oh, I'm a jerk.
It happens.
Oh my God. Yeah, so I went up to my dad, and like we had a very up and down relationship growing up and whatnot. And I was like, I need you to tell me the truth. Like I can take the truth. Like, am I fat? This asshole responded. He's like, well, you're definitely not as small as you used to be. You have gained a lot of weight, and you should probably like watch your weight a little bit. Sixth
I'm
grade.
in
Like
sixth grade.
I'm a child. Your child. And like, so that I was like, thank you. Like, thank you so much for that. And I went back to my room and I sobbed even more. And I was like, and I think honestly, those moments like just kickstarted so much. And unfortunately, it led to some quite I know I say this word a lot in these podcasts, but like it led me into some dark times, like growing up with body image issues. And I mean, I dropped a ton of weight in eighth grade. And just because like I was restrictive eating, I was watching literally everything I put in my mouth. I was close, pretty much starving myself. Like very, very little amount of calories going into my body. And then I was also in sports year round. So like I was working out several hours a day, and I was constantly trying to keep up with pretty girls in school and the popular girls, because I wasn't part of that group. I was never part of that group. I had I had some friends like in each group, uh,
Right.
but I never belonged to like one clique. And
Yeah.
so like the friends that were in the quote unquote popular group, or who had the best makeup, the best hair, the best clothes. Like, first of all, like I didn't have the money for those clothes or makeup or anything. Doing my damnedest.
Got the
Come on.
hand-me-downs. Like, come on.
Yes, yes. Thank God for my sister. But like,
Mm.
and um, yeah, it just, it's trying to like keep up with everyone else, or trying aspiring to be like these pretty girls. And I just never met that mark. And so I think that just like killed me on the inside even more. And you get like more and more destructive the worse thoughts you have, and you're like, what else can I do to lose more pounds? What else can I do to be prettier, if you will? Like acne, right? Like I didn't have really bad like cystic acne or anything, but I still had it. And I didn't know how to do my makeup yet, like appropriately, or can Dream Matte Mousse foundation just take onto my face that was 4 shades too dark, like just trying to cover up that.
Like you don't rub it in properly, so you just have like that line down.
Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it was
many school days like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think a ton of us 90s babies, some 80s babies went through that too.
Oh yeah. But, I mean, it is. It's such a tough time, and like you said, I mean, it spirals as to, it goes on, and that happened in 6th grade. I mean that, and that's what's sad is you shouldn't be worried about that stuff in 6th grade. I mean, you should be still worried about playing sports, hanging out with your friends, well, yeah, whatever, kissing boys. But if boys are like, oh, she's too fat, bitch, get the fuck out of here. You don't even know what too fat is. Right. I hope that 6-year-old boy is fat now.
Yeah.
It's not her husband, everyone. So just FYI.
No, Matt and I met in Puerto Rico way later in life. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, it was so bizarre. And I'm always curious if like a certain specific event like started the thought process in people, or if it was just like a whole, environment that they're part of.
I mean, and who knows, people could say crap behind, others' backs. And so I guess you don't really know, if there's something specific, but I mean, there could be, just like, that story.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just wild. I mean, kind of going back to what we already said, teenagers are mean, and I will say teenage girls are extra mean, and it's just, it's awful. And like, I'm sure I was mean at times too. Like, I know my mom will be like, yes, she was. I'm so thankful we had a girl so I can get like some payback. Yeah, karma's coming. But girls are really mean. And there was always this one like really popular girl who I just wanted to be friends with. I wanted to be I wanted to be a cool girl, and I tried so hard because my sister was part of the popular clique. So I'm like, what do I need to do to be part of the popular cliques? I'm like, I'm wearing her clothes because #hand-me-downs. And I was like, she's helping me with my hair, I threw away the Dream Matte Mousse foundation. Like, what else do I need to do? I overplucked my eyebrows. Like,
oh my God. Yes. I can't
still working on getting those back. Oh my God.
So terrible.
I think I had like one hair along the entire eyebrow. I just like tried to gel in place so it didn't fall out.
Oh no. Such a traumatizing time.
They're still trying to recover.
Yeah.
It's been 20 years. God, so freaking bad. But yeah, and so this popular girl that I was always trying to strive to like befriend, and I felt like I was always so nice to her because it's an ass and trying to be in the group. And I remember we were in, I think it was like a geography class or whatnot in high school, and she was like 2 seats in front of me, and I'll never forget this, which is so sad. And it was where the teacher would hand back a stack of papers from the first chair, and then they would hand it back behind to the desk behind. And so she was 2 in front of me, and there was a boy in between us, and she handed it back the stack of papers. And then she's like, "Skip Tara." And I was like, "Wait, what?"
Right.
It's weird. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't like her. Just go around her. I was so flabbergasted, and I looked at him and was like, what? Yeah. I was so sad. But I was just like, what a mean girl. And it was just one of those impressionable moments where I was like, I'm not worthy, I'm not
Yeah.
worth quote unquote friendships, which you don't want to be friends with someone like that anyway, but
Right. Exactly.
I'm not worthy of being the pretty girl. I'm not worthy of being the popular girl. So it's like, I'm fat. I like, what do I need to fix? I already like stopped eating. So, and I dropped some
Yeah.
weight. Like, why am I not good enough now? Like, do, do, and it did lead into like, do I need to go throw up? Like it went
Yeah.
into um, I don't want to call it anorexia because it was never diagnosed or anything. I never saw a doctor for anything, but those characteristics, and then following up with how can I get results faster, right? Like how can I
Right.
still kind of maybe nourish my body, but then like quickly dispose of it and not gain any of the weight from it, right? I can still
Right.
taste the food, I can get rid of it and it not be absorbed into my body and not see it on the scale. And
Mm-hmm.
like that went on for a while, and it it didn't get better until like probably early college, and like
What made it quote unquote get better? What clicked, that you kind of were like,
mm,
okay, I'm not saying, you're happy or you're not happy, but
yeah.
stopping.
Well, and it was weird because it wasn't a consistent thing. It wasn't like every day, every meal, because
Right.
I would have been in a hospital over that long period of time. But it would come in waves, if you will. Like there were weeks where I would do it like 2 out of 3 times. I would eat like throughout the day, right? And that would go on for weeks or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then I would go through like, okay, now I'm not going to do it anymore because I am hungry and like I don't feel good, my throat hurts, yada yada. Uh, but then yeah, it would come back again, and I don't. I think I just found a different vice. Um, that wasn't. I was too nervous about my teeth because I like really like my teeth, and I was terrified that something was going to happen to that.
Right.
I got into like the party scene in college, and I think I just kind of like numbed those thoughts until the hangover hit, and then like here we are again. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but I think I dove into something else to kind of ignore those thoughts and feelings. So I don't think it ever really went away, and um, I just don't do anymore. It's like,
Right.
what's the next trend? What's the next diet? What's on the market that's legal that I can dabble with, right?
Right.
Um, like those,
What
what was
was
it?
that like going, because obviously, when you're pregnant, you gain weight, and we did talk about that
Uh,
previously. What was that like, since you went through this growing up, and then, later down the line, you get pregnant and you do gain weight.
yeah, I would say leading up to the pregnancy, like I was actually happy with where I was. And I was, I reached a point in my life where I was in a happy marriage. I was happy with my life. I was happy with our life. I was happy with where we were and where we were going. Um, and I felt good. I was able to work out all the time and I was eating healthy. So I was on a healthy path. And then, I was, we were healthy and we were ready to start the family. Um, those thoughts and feelings flooded back as soon as I started. Because the period of pregnancy where you just feel bloated all the time and then you look
Mm.
bloated and you don't look like you have a belly yet. Like
Yeah.
you are just bloated.
Yeah.
And that's probably when those feelings like really kick started again. What
And
did
then,
you think?
2 days later, you're massive. It just comes like so fast.
It's so
You
disgusting.
don't even notice that you're pregnant, and then you're like, whoa,
Yeah, the
I just
belly just
ate a beach
popped.
ball.
Yeah. So
Um,
what was it? Because you said in your 20s you struggled a little bit. So what was like your lifestyle and thought process leading up to the pregnancy?
I kind of think I'm gonna kind of take yours. It was pretty much the same. You were in a place where you were happy, not necessarily happy with your body, but you're in that happy place. You have a husband who loves you for you and doesn't care about any of that stuff. You're happy. Yeah, I think it was pretty much just like that, and you have something that is beautiful that's going to happen.
Mhm.
So I didn't really think about it. I kind of just
What
let it go.
what struggles did you have in your 20s, if you're okay talking about?
Yeah. So I moved to Florida when I was 19, and I obviously was on my own for the first time, and I didn't go to college like you. I went to cosmetology school, so it's a little bit different. And not saying I didn't party in college. I would
I was
go
like, I'm
visit
pretty
my
sure we went
brother,
out
and
together.
yeah. But that was pretty much my partying stage. I was out, fine, like when I did get my own apartment and stuff. I met new people who became my good friends.
Mhm.
And it just was a lot of partying and drinking, and obviously that really puts a toll on your body, and you don't at that time you don't really think it does.
Right.
And once that started happening, I started to gain a lot of weight. And when you look in the mirror, I guess you sometimes can tell, but you don't really tell until you look at a picture of yourself. Like if you see a picture somebody took and you're in it, and that's when it hits like, holy shit, what the hell happened to you?
Yeah.
That doesn't even look anything like you. And
Yeah.
then I think for me, it really kind of it did bother me, just because obviously that's not what I wanted. I didn't want that. Did I do anything to help that? No, probably not, like I should have.
Mhm.
But also it makes you, okay, well, I don't want to go back where I'm from, like home, because I don't want old friends or high school people or ex-boyfriends or whatever to see me looking like
Right.
this, you know? And so then that just adds more onto it. And I know a
Right.
lot of people, when stress obviously does wonders to the body. And I'm not a person who can stress like lose weight. I'm a freaking stress eater. So then
Same.
on top of,
Girl.
drinking a lot, and then, not obviously staying up until God knows how late, and
Mhm.
being stressed because I'm to a point where I'm fat,
Right.
and then I'm stressed about that. And it's like, all right, well, give me, 6 donuts and let's call it a day.
Did you find food like comforting? And then
um,
if like in the moment, and then if you did or didn't, like what was the guilt like afterwards if you had any?
I think just feeling really shitty.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say it was, food comfort,
Mhm.
but just really feeling, shitty. And you can tell, when you do start doing something to help yourself, you do start feeling a lot better. I noticed
Yeah.
that. I, I'll say recently, but it's been, months and stuff. I really started, working out again. And you do. I mean, it takes a little bit, but once you start to feel, oh my gosh, I can get up and not be so tired, or I can
Mhm.
get up and I don't feel that bloatiness,
Right.
that's, I think, where it makes me smile.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and I'm sure a lot of people could relate to that. I don't want to say just women because I'm sure men could relate to that too, you know. But the bloating resonates. Like that feeling alone is like can kickstart your day into either a good day or bad day. And most of the time it's a bad day if you feel the bloating.
Mhm.
And like when you are like healthy habits for X amount of time, you know, and in a consistent manner, like that does go away. And you're drinking more water, so your body isn't bloating as much and retaining, you know, what
Yeah.
salt and water and whatnot, and
Right, right.
swelling goes down, and or the inflammation, I should say. And
And I can still feel that. There's some days, it just happened, I think 2 weeks ago. There, I woke up and I thought, okay, I'm doing good. I was doing good, the week prior, and I just woke up and I was like, oh my, ugh, this
yeah,
is so gross, and I feel so nasty. So, I'm getting on, Google, okay, how can I, get rid of this? What can I do? And then you start reading about like liquid diets. And I was
hmm,
telling my girlfriends about it. We have a group, a group text, and
yeah,
my one was like, she was really concerned, and bless her heart, she was like, what kind of liquid diet are you talking about? Because you still need to get that nutrients and
yeah,
stuff in your body. And and I was like, oh, no, no, no. Obviously, I'm going to do, smoothies, blah, blah, and the good stuff, not just straight up, liquid. It didn't last very long.
yeah,
Just because, again, life happens, and
right.
it, I need some string cheese in my life or whatever.
String cheese is good.
I have to get so much because I take all of Braxton's. It's kind of sad.
Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah, yeah. I have to take it out of his drawer. He has a separate drawer, and I just like, all right, I'm gonna sneak a string cheese.
You thief.
Right.
I still live applesauces all the time.
All right, all right. There you go. See, sometimes it's good having a kid. You get all the fun stuff
I
again.
know. And they're in fun pouches and everything. Mess free. You don't have to use silverware.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
No, but I can definitely relate to the mine was comfort food, right? So like if I was upset with like the quote unquote progress that I made, or if I was mad at myself for, you know, gaining 1.5 pounds because I weighed myself every morning, which is the
Don't
dumbest
do
thing
that.
ever.
Right,
It's
right.
the dumbest thing, but like, you know, when you're psycho about the
Uh-huh.
numbers on the scale and like the tape measure and everything, you're going to do it. And it's just
And you
it's
see it go down like, every once in a while, or you hit that big perk where it's going down like every day. So you
mhm,
want to check it every day.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay, I'm up 0.2 pounds, like, I'm gonna go pee.
Yeah.
I go weigh myself, and then it, like, comes down a little bit, and I'm like, "Okay, we're good," you know, and it's so dumb, like, to "Oh, I gotta take my socks off," like, that's what's causing that number, you know, it's just
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, but in that moment,
Uh-huh.
it does, and
Yeah.
it, yeah, it became very obsessive and, kind of just second nature, and which is not good. Like, I went through a period where it got so bad, like, I had to throw away the scale, like, I had to remove it,
Yeah.
I knew it was getting bad, and I'm like, "I cannot keep doing this," and so
Right.
I threw it out, got rid of it, and stopped weighing myself, and things got a lot better because I didn't have like that constant reminder of I'm quote unquote fat or gaining weight
Right.
or imperfect, right? Um,
Right. Right.
but yeah, I would if I were depressed or anxious or whatever it may be, I got into a phase like a little bit later in life where I would eat and I would just like binge eat so bad and I didn't
Oh,
care what I was eating, right? Like it was most likely unhealthy, 90% of the time unhealthy because I'm not gonna angrily chew on carrot sticks, you know? I want
crunch.
yeah, maybe that would actually be good though.
Get the anger out. Crunch.
Right? But yeah, and then but every single time that I did it, I felt shitty right after, and not just like physically shitty, like I was so angry at myself and I was so disgusted with myself, which just reset that nasty cycle of like, well, I can't eat breakfast tomorrow. I can't eat for 18
Right.
hours, like I can only drink water and coffee and that's it. And I'll just have to deal with the hunger. And I would do like sugar-free gum just to like act like I'm chewing. I even went through a phase, this is so stupid. It's so dumb, but I did it. And I would smell food and I would,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm like, this is fitting my craving, right? Or this is like fulfilling my craving and I'm good. I don't need to eat it. Like I smelled it and we're good. And you move on. And then it's like your stomach hurts and obviously because you're not eating. And yeah, it was just that vicious cycle. And unfortunately, it at least in my experience, like the voice, they're not voices, but like
Right.
the thoughts get quieter, right? The more content you are in life, the happier you are in life, at least for me. But they don't go away,
Right.
and
Right.
yeah,
And
and
who
so
knows
that
if they ever will? I mean,
yeah,
I still have, that stuff that goes, that runs through my mind. Am I a happy person? Am I happier than I was back then? Sure. Yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't mean I'm happy, with myself. And, and that's something that I have to work on. I have to, do myself. I have to, all right, make a list or whatever it is, I need to work out, do this, and this. I need to, prep my food, this, and this, which I will say I freaking hate doing. The worst thing in the world.
It sucks. It takes all day.
I'm a terrible freaking cook. So the only thing I can think of is like, all right, let's eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. So I don't want to freaking eat that for a week or a month, 2, I just can't keep that shit in my fridge because I'll be like, all right, my Tuesday day is right here and it's Monday, but let me just eat my Tuesday day too. Like I don't.
Right. Oh God. Meal prepping does work though. Like when you plan out your meals, it does help, but it does get boring. So you got to figure out recipes that'll spice things up a little bit.
Right. And I'm not good at that. That's just not my forte.
My brother would love to help you with that. I'm just throwing his name out there because
all right, coming for you, Jake.
Yeah, he does love meal. Yeah, him and his wife meal
prep. Call him after we're done with this.
God. Yeah. So another thing that I tried, do you remember the fad that was on the market? It was we're in high school, college time frame. I think it was high school. When I did it, I was like a senior in high school. And it was like the HCG shots or whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? There was, so you could either get like, which is it's like the pregnancy hormone, right? But it's to like I don't even know. I don't know the science behind it, so I'm not going to even try to pretend that I did. But it came out as a weight loss like fad or trend, and I jumped on that bandwagon so bad. And you could get it as an injection, or you can get it as like drops that you put in your mouth. And I'm too cheap for injection, so I did the drops. And I was still in high school, so like I couldn't tell I couldn't tell my mom or I couldn't tell anyone.
Right.
And I just remember
I'm gonna go get an injection real fast.
Right. And the trick with this is obviously you're gonna lose weight because you're only allowed to have 500 calories a day. If any smart
one of those apple pouches you eat now.
Right. It was disgusting. Like, how does someone survive with, I mean, obviously it did, but like that is not sustainable. That is not healthy. Your body's going into starvation mode and it's going to start retaining everything it can because it realizes that you're starving it, right? And and so like my best friend was always like, are we eating today or not? And like she was just always so blunt with me. Well, I mean, but we're always blunt with each other, and we appreciate, or at least I appreciate that from her. And it's just like we're not about feelings and emotions. Like I'm gonna give it to you straight because I'm your best friend, and I'm gonna tell you how it is, right? And she's like,
slap it out of you, like, yo,
Yeah.
are we gonna have this today?
Yeah. Are we
Look at
eating
this
more than a
great
celery stick?
cheeseburger.
Right. And I was just like, okay, fuck off. But not really.
Let me just take my drops real fast and
Yeah.
we'll be good.
Put my chicken breast in mustard and call it a day. But it was so stupid. That was probably the worst fad I ever tried. And obviously I lost weight because I was starving myself once again. But yeah, so okay, so transitioning the young adult stage into like prepping for pregnancy and then finding out you're pregnant, then having your body transform throughout pregnancy, like what was your journey with that? Because I know you said in the previous podcast, like you did lose weight during the pregnancy. What was like
Yeah.
what was your mentality kind of paired with that?
I think aside from, everybody, well, I wouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people, they like to lose weight. So, I mean, that's fine. Whatever, that was good. But I think once you kind of start getting in, that bigger stage, and again, my pregnancy wasn't terrible. I don't think I started showing until, I don't know, like 23 weeks or something like that, which I don't know if that's normal, like whatever. But so, but once you kind of get in, to seeing, yourself, and again, I didn't think I was that big. And then you look at pictures, from like maternity pictures or just, a picture in general when you're pregnant, and wow.
That girl. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And like, did you catch yourself like not just looking at your belly? Did you look at like other parts of your body too in pictures?
Oh, yeah. And it's terrible because I still do. I have specific body parts that I absolutely hate on myself. And which we can get into that in a minute, like how we feel, now. But I do that. I'm like, oh, my legs are freaking disgusting. I have this jello arm, like it's so it is, it's obviously a good feeling, to see, that you're creating this life and, all the good stuff.
It's beautiful.
Right. But it is a terrible feeling to kind of know that, okay, now I have to go 10 steps, back again.
Right.
I was kind of okay where I was at, and now I just gained this weight, and now how am I going to lose, that weight again to go back where I
was? So weight aside, did you have, if you're okay saying, did you have anything that occurred like stretch marks or anything like throughout pregnancy that you were very uncomfortable with, didn't want to show, or whatever it may be?
Yeah, definitely stretch marks. I never really got them, I would say, on my like stomach before I was pregnant. And then obviously I did when I was. I've always had, bigger legs, bigger hips and thighs, and so I definitely get them in my inner, my inner legs. Are those called thighs?
Thighs, yeah. Those things.
Guys, I'm not good at schooling, so I probably wasn't even there when we learned about thighs.
A big class.
Right.
I know what you did.
So yes, I still do till this day have stretch marks on my thighs, and I hate it. It's the worst. It's so terrible wearing shorts for me. I hate wearing shorts. Some days, when it's 100 degrees out and you're in leggings, people are like, why the hell are you in leggings? Aren't you hot? Hell yeah, I'm hot, but do you want to see this? Because I sure don't.
Which the crazy thing about that statement right there that you just made is like, they probably don't give a fuck. And that's like, it's so in our own head,
Yeah.
And perceptions are so like distorted, right?
Yeah. And again, I mean, you grow up, with America's Next Top Model, and I'm not saying anything about them, because they're beautiful, they're great, they're fantastic, but
which was that?
Yeah, but nobody looks like that. And if you do, then that's, it's an issue, you know, I mean, it's, and so, okay. So I guess let's go growing up and being where you are at today. How do you feel with that? How do you still have the same thoughts you did, or?
Yeah, so it kind of shifted, right? So it shifted throughout pregnancy. So I know I talked on a previous episode, like I gained like 70 plus pounds throughout the pregnancy. So that was obviously a very difficult thing to accept. And like I was expanding in more than just my belly area, right? Like my arms were getting bigger, and like that's my area that I despise. And like my legs were getting way bigger, and I was like, clothes weren't fitting. And I was expecting, you know, clothes to not fit near the belly and hip region, but like they weren't fitting other areas too. I'm like, what is going on, you know? And then I talked about like buying the treadmill because I was like obsessively walking them. Well, and I started like running again, like while I was pregnant, because I was very active, like prior to pregnancy. But I had quite a bad fall while I was pregnant, and I fell right on my belly. And I like, because of the traumatic, you know, ectopic pregnancy right before Liv, like I was terrified that I just ruined this pregnancy. And so I like immediately called my doctor, and I was like, do I need to come in? Like, what do I need to look out for? Because I like belly flopped. I tripped over like the sidewalk like edge, and it was terrifying. So anyway, I stopped running, and I just like did more walking and at home workouts. And but yeah, like the weight was horrible then, and it was absolutely in my head. I didn't want to be undressed ever, you know, and I wanted to be in hoodies, but hoodies didn't even fit. Like, it's freaking the summertime when you're at your biggest, and it's like, friends are going boating. I guess I'll put on a bikini and look like a whale. You want me to jump in the water? Like, okay, get ready for the tidal wave.
No.
Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, it was just kind of one of those moments. I just said F it, and I was like it is what it is at this point, right? And so post baby, like I talked about, like the weight drop that I had like throughout the breastfeeding, which was wonderful. And I was working with a nutritionist because I knew I needed to get my shit together because it got so out of whack while I was pregnant. And nutritionist was wonderful, but it was more of those like macro counting, and that with my history, my self-evaluation and my non-medical background, my obsessions, I was obsessed with tracking the numbers. I was obsessed with what I was, you know, intaking, and it was becoming not healthy again. And not saying physically unhealthy, but like mentally unhealthy. And I was spending more time. It was like another full-time job. You know, I got the pumping full-time job. I got the actual full-time job. I got the mom full-time job. And now I got the trying to lose weight full-time job, which was the macro journaling every entry. And it was too much. Right. So anyway, I kind of like let off that, and I did start gaining some weight back, but it was absolutely a struggle and still is. And I'm still like, I fluctuate like crazy. And like, I will climb 10 pounds and I'll drop 10 pounds like very quickly. And I don't know why, especially if my diet's not changing, which that's the first thing. I need to change my diet. And I am very aware of like, it's 80% nutrition, 20% working out. Like I get that. I see it everywhere.
Chick-fil-A is so freaking good though.
Like I am aware that diet is a thing, like, but I also have told you guys that I don't hold myself accountable. So that is an issue. I was supposed to go to the gym 3 times a week and I didn't. So like let's start over.
You're gonna be moving a couple boxes and packing and stuff though. So that could be like an arm workout, right?
Well, we have been moving furniture. Like we painted this bedroom today. And like moving the king size bed, the juicers, like things we've been working out. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. See?
Yeah. But But yeah, anyway, where I am now, I mean, in the event that you guys or anyone listening watches like, my Instagram or TikTok or whatnot, like I have talked about, struggling mentally with my body image issues, if you will. And I absolutely still have those thoughts. And I don't do anything drastic like I used to growing up because there's more important things in life. And, I'm a mom and that comes first. And then I'm a wife, and uh, those are my priorities. It's not weight loss, but like, am I upset with myself or at times? And am I disgusted with myself at times? And unfortunately, the answer is yes. I am there are days, and it's not every day. Some days I'm super happy. Some days I feel like a fox, like
Right,
there are days where I feel good and I feel pretty and whatnot. And then there's other days where I'm like, what have I done to myself? And how did I let this get so out of hand? And where do I go to now? And it might sound stupid to like people listening, but I've struggled with this ever since I was a child. And so
yeah.
those thoughts and feelings come flooding back. I just kind of can wrangle them in a little bit better these days, and I don't let it get disastrous like it used to. I
What do you normally do when you get those thoughts? Is it like I'll go work out right away, or I kind of take a step back and just think about what I have, or yeah, what is your thought process on that?
Yeah, so normally it's like I'm gonna go work out because, being active and gets my mindset straight. And so if I can't leave the house because I'm in between meetings or whatnot, like I'll get the treadmill and I'll just walk. Like any
Mm-hmm.
type of activity helps me get out of that funk, if you will. But um, if I don't have time to work out or I'm in a meeting that I can't like be on the treadmill on, like I'll do some like stretching. I'll do something moving, and take a few breaths. And I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it takes a whole day and I just have to reset in the morning. And that's just unfortunate reality of my life. And uh, I know like my family sees it, and so I try to mitigate that as well. But I mean, Matt and I've been together 12 years, so like he
Right.
knows when I'm not
Yeah.
feeling the greatest. And
Yeah.
um, and like the support system is wonderful here. And there's no reason I should feel this way or have these thoughts because nothing is influencing that. That's probably the worst part. Like nothing
Yeah.
in my life is influencing it. It's all internal. Like friends don't influence it. Things I see, like maybe, but like not like it did when I was a kid, and like
Right.
family doesn't influence it, nothing like that nowadays. And I think it's honestly it's just me. It's a me thing. And I don't know it'll get better or when it'll get better, if it ever will.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of management. What about you though?
Right. Um.
Like where
Yeah.
where do you think you are right now? Like how do you think you are right now?
To be like completely honest, I'm not where I want to be, and I'm not happy, about it. I did say previously, I was working out a lot, and I could tell, and I noticed, okay, my legs look smaller, or I got a little like two pack going on,
Too bad.
and
I love it.
it's probably not, but whatever, in my mind it
Hey,
was.
better than my 0.
um, and lately I've stopped, for whatever reason, working out. I've been going through all of stuff, which I'm 100%, willing to get into at another episode. And I think when, stuff like that happens, I have, I guess I still, this is what's kind of irritating, like about me, is I have the desire still to want to better myself and to get up and work out. I don't, you know,
Mm.
I still get that excitement of, working out and seeing results, but sometimes I don't have the energy to do it. And I'll wake up and say, oh, today's the day, I'm going to do this. Um, And then, the day comes and goes and you're like, oh, all right,
When you miss a day or like a workout or something, like a goal that you set the night before, do you get down on yourself? Or are you okay? Do you just brush it off and try again the next day? Like, what's your follow through?
So yes, I will kind of brush it off and say, okay, tomorrow will be the day. But then if that doesn't happen, then yeah, I get into a phase of kind of like, okay, well, whatever, this is going to take forever anyway, so nothing's going to change, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
So but again, it's your mental state on it.
Yeah.
And people listening to this or watching this, they might be like, these girls are freaking nuts. Nobody thinks like that anymore, which, okay, if they don't, thank God you don't. Because, one, you don't want to deal with that, especially when you're younger. That's
right.
Growing up is already a shit show to begin with. And
it's really
and I mean, having those constant thoughts of, am I pretty? Am I skinny? Am I too skinny? Do I have this stuff all over my face?
Do I have a thigh gap? What's a thigh gap? First
yes.
off, like, that was something I always strived for, like growing up. And I'm like, that is just unrealistic. And why?
Yeah.
Why?
Is it even a thing anymore?
Don't know. I hope not. But it was absolutely a thing growing up. At least like what my experience.
100%. You always see that thigh gap and you're like, that's the cutest thing ever. But like I said, I've always had big thighs, big legs, big hips. So I don't really know if I've ever even had that.
Yeah. I've always had like kind of thicker thighs too. And like I had a thigh gap when I was very unhealthy. And,
yeah.
And I was like, yes, I've reached the peak.
Yeah.
But it was not good.
This is
not a good way. Felt like misery, everyone.
Yeah. And it kind of brings it back to, I know that I shouldn't think this way or feel this way because I'm sitting here right now saying, how all this stuff growing up feeling that way is stupid.
Right.
And
it's so stupid.
It is.
I know.
It is.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just maybe because we did grow up feeling that way. So it's just that thought is always going to be there. Or if it still is, seeing your friends who are so tiny and, seeing, I don't know, people walk down the street that are, or even on TV or which I'll give this to America's Next Top Model. They do have brain fart, bigger girls on it. What is it called though?
Plus size.
Thank you.
Oh, girl.
Brain fart. Holy shit! Today is a day. Plus size.
They have absolutely expanded. Yeah. Which is good. Yeah. And then trying to separate reality from like social media, right? That's a huge one because there are filters. I use filters all the time. Let's be honest. There's overlays. There's and these filters are getting good. Like they're getting real good. For if they don't even glitch if you move your hand across your face. It's bad. But like then I mean you see so many or every image that is in the tabloids or on the news or whatever, it's photoshopped, it's cropped. It's like it's made to look somewhat or made to make someone look smaller or more of that quote unquote like perfect image that society is trying to shove down your throat. Yeah. And I hope like everyone, not just women, but like women and men or boys and girls growing up, I hope they don't face these challenges, which they will because it's just reality, unfortunately. I'm sure a lot of them will, but like I hope things occur to where or there's more support out there for them, so it's not ingrained in their head their entire life. And I'm sure there'll still be like small percentages of them, but like I hope there's more tools nowadays and more openness, or more a wider acceptance for body image, right? So they people can be healthy and people
Right.
can not have destructive thoughts and um,
Yeah.
unrealistic expectations. Yeah,
100%. I agree.
yeah,
Something needs to be there and change in that, because that's not something that anybody should have to grow up dealing with or continue to deal with, or feel like they can't be in, this society because they don't fit what
right,
other people think they should.
right. It's crazy as a mom. So well, as a girl mom specifically, I don't know if you do this with me or not. Like, uh, we do like the affirmations in the mirror, and it's
Uh-huh.
like, or just looking at each other, and it's like we go like, I am brave, I am strong, I am smart, I am kind, and I am beautiful. And like anytime we say that I am beautiful, we like shout it, and Liv just
Oh, I love that.
loves it. And I just like, I don't know. It's something so small, but like maybe
Hmm.
she'll hold on to that, like
Yeah.
confidence is so important in our littles to grow up with. And it like it resonates like power, and if they can own their own image and their own confidence, it'll just exponentially spread into power throughout their lives, and they can just own their life.
Yeah. I love that. You need to
Yeah.
go out there and just crush it.
Conquer
Be who
conquer
you
the
are.
world.
Be who you
Yep.
are. Love who you are, and crush it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I wanted to share some kind of like facts that I found kind of on this topic. And it's unfortunate that these facts or these statistics exist, but it's just kind of the reality of the situation. So specifically for adolescent girls, research has shown that around 50% of young 13-year-old American girls reported being unhappy with their body. This number grew to nearly 80% by the time girls reached 17 years of age. And then among those adolescents who believe they quote unquote weren't thin enough, or quote unquote might get too fat, 53% exhibited clinically symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. Um, then kind of stepping away from the adolescent girls. So 95% of the people with eating disorders are between ages 12 and 25. Then adult women, so approximately 91% of women are unhappy with their bodies and resort to dieting to achieve their ideal body shape. Unfortunately, only 5% of women naturally possess the body type often portrayed by Americans in the media, which is one of those unrealistic expectations, right? Everyone's
Right.
striving to be that 5% in this
Hmm.
country. And then only 10% of people suffering from an eating disorder will actually seek professional help. And these numbers and percentages are based on people who have openly talked about it. Then
Yeah.
add on all the people who aren't seeking help or aren't openly talking about it, who are struggling in silence, right? It's so wild. And these numbers are specific to America. So it's not the world, it's within
Right.
America.
That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm hoping this can like help people see that they're not alone, and
Hmm.
reach out if you need help, if you have any questions, if you need just an open ear, like we are here.
Hmm.
That's literally what this platform is for, is to like make
Yeah.
sure that you're not alone and this is a community.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
Kristen, if you're okay, we can kind of transition into like our moments of the week and see if we have any mom fails or toddler tantrums, or maybe something that crushed your soul this week.
Let's do it. I'm gonna start it out here with. I'm gonna go with a crush your heart / pull on your heartstrings a little bit.
Okay.
Mine's kind of a two-parter, but they go together. Um, we decided to get rid of Braxton's crib and start him in a big boy bed. And it's so sweet. It's the cutest little, it's just a little toddler bed, but it looks so tiny compared to, the crib he was in. And he was so excited, and he jumped right in, and he actually wanted to take a nap in it. And it was the sweetest little thing. And
it was the most adorable video that you sent me. It was so cute.
He was so happy. We surprised him. So he knew we had a big boy bed, but we told him, you're not getting it until you're sleeping the way you need to sleep at night, because he likes to come in our room. So it was so cute. And in that moment, it's like, oh my God, you're not supposed to be getting big. Like you're a big boy now. What is this?
Right.
That moment you don't ever think is really going to happen. Your kids grow up. That's the thing, And then to go with that, he is sick this week, like I said earlier, and it's his last week at this daycare, and we love this daycare. I knew I mentioned that last week. We love her. We've seen him grow so much with her, and I think it's probably more upsetting to me than it is him, but he's sick, so he missed Monday, and I thought, all right, Monday, that's fine. It's the beginning of the week. He still has the rest of the week. He went Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, yesterday he started getting a little worse, like his cough did. And, I talked to his teacher, and I said, well, as of right now, he just won't come on Thursday, if he's worse, whatever. So he didn't go today. And that makes me so sad, because tomorrow's Friday, and now he has a half a day tomorrow. And he didn't get to see the kids, last day that don't come on Fridays. And, she texted me today, kind of checking in and stuff. And, she wanted to know where he was going to, continue daycare. And I told her, and he's like, well, they're really lucky to, have him. He's one of the sweetest little boys I've ever, had to deal with. And oh my God,
I would have sobbed.
Not only am I so upset for him that he's missing his last week in daycare, but also don't make me sit and cry and say my kid is the sweetest kid, because he might be, and that's great. But that just makes you feel so, so that's it. Before I cry right now, I'm going to end my story.
He's seriously the sweetest. Yeah. I actually have something very similar. Not the toddler bed, because we're going to savor this crib as long as we can. And she knows how to climb out. Like, we actively show her and teach her, and she does it during the day, but nighttime, she doesn't even try. So we're like, okay.
Right.
Yeah. But kind of, so the moving process, we are prepping for everything, but we had to look into new daycares as well, and getting her on wait lists. And we found one that will just be a temporary solution until we can get to one we really want and is closer to our new home. But we just notified the old daycare that she's going to be leaving as well. And the teachers are we're trying to catch all of them so we can tell them, because we love these teachers, and Liv loves them, and she's thriving in this school. And so we've been talking to the teachers individually, and this one this morning, who we absolutely adore, she's like, I've heard that Liv was leaving in a couple weeks, and I was like, just don't talk about it right now.
Yeah.
Our hearts are already broken and everything. But yeah, it's very sad, and we have been trying to talk to Liv about, going to her new school and everything, just to prepare her for it, but I don't know how much she's retaining of it or understanding of the process. But we are absolutely heartbroken on that, because these teachers have been a godsend to her, and she loves them, and runs up and hugs them and is so happy around them. So but yeah, and then kind of tacking on to the moving process, we've been moving a lot of a lot of her baby stuff out of the attic and giving it away or selling it, or it's just in the garage. And she's been seeing it, and she has been wanting to play in like all her baby
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So we have to convince her that like it's broken. It
Yeah.
doesn't work
Right.
anymore, because if you tell her she's too big for it, like she's like, no, I'm playing. Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm too big for this. So yeah, it's just been kind of chaos, and we've been like really thrown out of our routines, and Matt and I are very routine driven individuals, and it was probably the military background for both of us. We like schedules, we like routines, and as soon as we're out of our routine, it's just everything's haywire, and
Right.
it's not a comfortable feeling. So we are Liv is probably feeling that, and overall, like, we don't really have many tantrums. She's had a pretty decent week, and yeah, it was just kind of the
Yeah.
crush your soul with the leaving the daycare and
Yeah.
get thrown out of our routine.
With you moving, have you not necessarily had the discussion with her that you're moving into a new house, but what are your, I guess, what's the process going to be? Because how do you tell a 2-year-old,
Right. I mean,
which
we did.
maybe moving to a new house is something more exciting, especially since she has to leave her daycare that she loves.
Yeah, so Liv went with us to all the house showings.
Okay.
And the home that we're moving to, she went in and she ran around, and we showed her which one was going to be her room if they accepted the offer. And like, we're like, this is your new room. And she was like, yes. And now all she talks about is her new house. And
Oh, good.
now how it will be when we actually move in, like, I'm sure is going to be, she's probably going to be scared of it. If I had to guess, her room's going to be like on the second floor and we'll be on the first floor. So that's going to be very weird for all of us.
Right.
I don't know how I feel about that yet.
You're gonna be poking in every 2 seconds.
I'm definitely in. Well, yeah, and it's like a big bonus room up top, and she's probably gonna be
heck yeah.
lounging on the couch up there by herself and saying like, "Go to bed, guys," because she's 2 going on 18.
I got this. I can hop in and out of my crib. I got this.
Like, get lost. But
Don't
yeah,
you guys have date night or something you like to do?
like, I'm fine. I don't need a sitter. Yeah. But yeah, no, we're trying to be open with her about it and just trying to be very transparent with it. And we talk to her about everything we're doing, because I don't know at 2 years old, like, I don't know how much she can process. Like, she's a smart
Right.
girl, so I feel like she somewhat understands what's going on. How much she'll actually retain, I don't know. I don't remember when I was 2, so
I know. But it's kind of, it does bring it back because they are so smart, and this is like they're sponges right now. They really do pick up everything, and they observe everything, and it's like they do know, but then you're talking to them and they run away right away. It's like, all right, cool.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, as the episode comes to an end, we totally forgot to set goals for next week or this week, but so we're gonna set them now. Tara, have you thought of one?
Yeah, actually, I did. So I am not going to touch alcohol all week long. And I'm super stoked for it. So next podcast, I'm probably just gonna have a cup of coffee. So tonight is the last night, and we'll see how long it goes. It might be more than a week. I don't know.
One, I love that. That's awesome. I'm excited for you to be able to tell us how that goes. Two, you can drink coffee this late. I mean, I don't like coffee anyway, but it doesn't keep you up all night.
The caffeine tolerance is out of hand, and it's something that needs to be corrected, but not this week.
Okay. Maybe that's a goal in a couple weeks, right?
Okay, don't get carried away.
All right, I'm going with the whole episode of this. I'm gonna go back with working out. You did your workout goal, and I'll start simple. I'll start simple. I'll do 2 days like this week, and go from there.
I love it. I love it. You're going to crush it. Well, I guess we'll wrapping up. So thank you guys all for joining us today's episode. Huge shout out seriously we've had a few people reach out to us, thanking us for the podcast and telling us they love it. And then people saying, giving us ideas for certain topics. And we appreciate that feedback. So if anyone listening or watching has any topics that you want us to talk about, we're quite open, as you've probably heard on these past few episodes. And please just let us know. You can hit us up on Instagram. You can message us privately if you have our contact information, but it genuinely means the world to us. So please reach out, share your stories, let us know what you want us to talk about. And you can find us at loudmomslair@gmail.com. So you can message us there, on Instagram at loudmomslairpodcast. And then at YouTube, you can search, and Spotify, you can search Loud Moms Lair channel. So yeah.
That's a wrap, y'all. Thanks again so much, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.